This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we talk about your life, specifically your money, your work, and your relationships. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague George Camel. We're here for you this hour to take your calls. It is a free call. Somebody out there needs breakthrough today, and we're going to help you do it. We're going to have fun along the way. 888-825-5225 is the number. 888-825-5225. Great looking crowd out in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions watching the show live here. Good to see you fine folks today as well. George, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Ken. I got to say, I'm looking at the screen and you look real tan, which tells me you've been in the sun, haven't you?
Yes, this is not a spray tan.
I wasn't going to assume.
Well, you know, these people, the people that watch it live on YouTube have opinions.
Well, we both just got back from a nice vacation. Not together, mind you.
Yeah, thank
you for
stipulating.
Fresh back from vacation and ready to serve you all.
Fun in the sun. Swam with dolphins in Cabo, James. I can't wait to tell you about that. It was a life-changing experience. You know what? No, Maybe Ken, we'll work it into the show.
The dolphins swam with Ken Coleman.
Thank you, George.
There we go.
No, I was starstruck by Kalea, sweet 9-year-old dolphin. But I digress. We are not here to talk dolphins. We're here to talk about breakthroughs, getting you where you want to be. Let's get it started in Los Angeles, California. Dan, you are on The Ramsey Show. What's up?
How are you guys doing?
We're living the dream. What's going on with you?
Excellent. Good. So my situation is we have been talking about actually moving to Nashville for the past few years. The two biggest holdups are family, obviously, but then my business. So my wife just got a permanent work-from-home job, which is huge because we'd have an income. But my business has taken off in the past few years, and I'm willing to start it over there, and I know I can. It sounds incredibly daunting, but we're also, willing to do whatever. We have a 3-year-old daughter, and we're just kind of done here for a multitude of reasons.
Sure.
I'm sure you've heard it a 1,000 times. But we're just not really sure how to do it because, do we sell our house? We'll have a decent amount of equity to buy a new house. Do we buy a house immediately? Do we rent, which I really don't want to do? I feel like it's just throwing away money. But at the same time, it does sound prudent only because then we can find the exact house we want.
Sure. Okay, I'll tell you what. George and I are going to walk you through what you need to do, but let's get a couple pieces of information. With your wife's job, will you all be able to forget renting or moving for the moment, but will you be able to live off of her income for a month, 2, 3 months, 4 months, or are you guys going to be really, really tight until you get your business or some income up and going? What's the situation?
No, I've saved. I'm a saver, so I've saved a decent little chunk of change. Mm-hmm. Plus, like I said, we'll have quite a bit of equity in our house.
So on top
which I don't want to use. Right. I don't want to use that to live on at all. I want to put that all towards a house.
Good.
And get my mortgage as low as possible. If I could get without a mortgage, I'd be ecstatic, but I don't think that's going to happen in this environment.
So income isn't the issue, and so now this, if I were you, and I'll let George address the whole rent is throwing money away myth, but if I were you and we knew Nashville, excuse me, if we knew Nashville was the place, all right, I would be making several trips here. You got cash to do it. Have you done it? Have you found housing to where you go, we could, with the sale of our house in California, make a really strong down payment the way we teach at Ramsey Solutions, 20%. Can you do a 15-year, have you figured that out? Or are you going to have to rent for a while just to be able to get in that position?
No, so we visited last September, and we actually just talked. My wife can't really leave right now because her job's somewhat new, but I talked about going out again in the next few months. We scouted a little bit while we were there. We loved Franklin. But that's really the only place we went. So we wanted to branch out a little bit more. But the down payment is no problem. I'm definitely looking within our budget. We could put at least half down. I'd like to put even more down on a house.
What are you afraid of? Because I'm hearing all positive things here. So what are you
starting
afraid
my business over is the biggest thing.
What kind of business is it?
So I'm a full suite real estate marketing. I do photography, videography, floor plans, virtual tours, all of that. So I'm an architectural and real estate photographer.
Okay. How long did it take you? How long did it take you to get that business up and running in California when you started it?
So I got up to about $60,000 a few years ago, and now I'm at 200.
Nice.
I've made 200 for the past 2 years.
So how long did it take you to go from 0 to 200,000?
10 years.
Okay. How long did it take you to go from 0 to 60?
About 5 years.
Okay.
And now that you know what you know, how much faster could you do it now that you've done it before?
That's the thing. And I know that. And I'm not a bragger at all, but I'm good at what I do. And I know that I have that confidence.
Good.
Well, you'll get here, you'll make connections, you'll build your client list, you'll get connected with some great real estate agents. Nashville's a hot market. I have no concerns that a guy like you is going to get this business up and running soon, especially with the financial position that you're in.
How much capital do you need to start this business over again? We come to Nashville.
Not much at all. I have my whole system in place. It would really just be marketing in Nashville. That's really the only expense.
So here's what I'm hearing. I'm just going to tell you what I'm hearing, Dan. I'm hearing that you have a lot of equity in your home. Your wife's got a really good remote work job. You've started a real estate business, kind of an ancillary type service business, and you've built it to a very nice income once before. You're coming to one of the hottest real estate markets in the country, in Nashville. Yeah. You've got money saved for the little bit of capital you need to start it. And we know you can live off of your wife's income for several months, and you could get another day job while you were out hustling and building relationships. George, that's what I hear. Dan, do you hear that? Do you hear anything silly or risky or crazy, scary in that narrative that I just repeated back to you?
No, from what you said, I don't.
All I did was repeat back to you what you told us.
Yeah.
You just got Ken Coleman.
Yeah.
Boom. So
is that a thing?
And it is now.
Okay.
So Dan, I would come here. I would rent at least 6 months, if not a year, to figure out where you want to live.
Totally agree.
Stack up more cash. You'll be able to put down a giant down payment and pay that mortgage off very quickly. And we live in this county that we're in, Williamson County, which is where Franklin is. You mentioned the 11th wealthiest county in the nation, which means people want to sell their homes for top dollar, and they want a great guy to market it for them, get the high-end video, all of that. So I think you're going to do great here.
And Dan, Stacy and I, when we moved here 8 years ago to join Ramsey Solutions, we rented for 2 years with 3 kids. We did not throw any money away. And I want you to change that narrative to I'm throwing money away to I'm giving myself options.
Ooh, buying yourself some patience.
Buy yourself some time. Get settled. Where do we want the kids to go to school? What's the best place for us given our work from home situation? What's the market look like? Renting is not throwing money away. Renting is giving you options, giving you time to make the best decision. Dan, you're a good dude. You've done it the right way. You're an entrepreneur, small business person. You are the American dream. Way to go, pal. Thanks for the call. Don't go anywhere. More of those kind of calls coming up. This is The Ramsey Show.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. George Campbell is with me this hour. We're here for you. You've got a money question, a work question, a relationship question, a life question, a fun suggestion. We'll take it all. You got to get through the screener, though. That's all on you. Once you get through, we're here for you. 888-825-5225. So, George, a lot of people starting to freak out about the rising interest rates, real estate. Are we in a bubble? Has it popped? What's going to happen? Oh my gosh, the sky is falling. And of course, there's a headline for everyone.
Oh yeah.
No matter what your opinion or your fear is around real estate, you can find yourself a headline.
Nobody wants to click on the headline that says, "Hey, everything's going to be fine."
Right. Well, we've got that headline.
That's right.
Very nice, George. It was a very nice. You gave me a good segue.
I'm here for that.
Because next week, Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, hosting a live stream event called Real Estate Reality Check, where we're going to tell you, what, George? That everything's okay.
Everything is going to be okay, and it's free. Yeah. So you don't even have to pay for the pleasure of hearing us say everything's going to be okay, and we're going to do it with facts, with analysis, with humor, with stories. It's going to be a good time.
So bottom line, you're going to find out why the real estate market is not going to crash, why it's still a good time to buy or sell. So don't miss this event. It's a live stream event called Real Estate Reality Check next Thursday, July 14th.
Less than a week away.
Yeah, register for free right now and get the answers you need to make a confident decision. RamseySolutions.com/realitycheck. That is the site to sign up. RamseySolutions.com/realitycheck. Are you going to get the guitar out and sing everything?
We have not discussed
be all right?
that, but it might be a really beautiful.
That's in your range.
A kumbaya ending.
Give us a little bar. Everything is going to be all right. A little reggae.
James is looking at me like, if you dare sing a lick, this thing is
George
going down.
George sings very well. Give me a little.
You know what? I'm going to say you have to sign up for the event to find out.
George, I'm really disappointed that you didn't take that moment to show people that you're a very gifted singer. He is.
They can listen to my music on Spotify, Ken. They don't need to hear it.
All right. I wasn't setting you up to pitch your music. I just wanted to have a fun moment.
But you did it anyways, and we thank you.
See, now that's what's going to get you in trouble. All right, Matthew is on the line in San Diego, California. He's a new listener, I'm told. Matthew, you're on the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my phone call.
Yeah, you bet. How can we help, sir?
So I'm new. Basically, I went on the internet and Googled financial coaches, and the Ramsey Show popped up.
Nice.
We
like the Google. We like showing up on the Google, don't we, George?
It's hard to do, and we did it. And I'm glad we.
Well, now you are here, Matthew.
Why were you looking for that?
Well, so I was listening to a podcast, and you guys did a couple segments, and I really, really loved it. And I kept listening to it, and then one little 5 segment popped up about crypto fraud. And unfortunately, in the past couple of weeks, I am a victim of crypto fraud.
Oh, man.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I got scammed. All in all, about $35,000.
Oh, my goodness. Yikes. Is that money you had?
No, it's a loans that I took out.
Oh, boy.
Gosh.
Yeah, and I thought it was legit because I originally invested $500, and that grew, and I was able to extract that into my bank account.
Oh,
and so that's when I thought it was real.
So they had big promises about returns on your investment, and they proved it with a little investment to then get you baited into more. Is that what happened?
Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
Oh boy. So now you're in a $35,000 hole on this. Do you have any other debt?
Yeah, so we took out a personal loan at the beginning of the year of $25,000 to consolidate my wife and I loans. We're recently married. We got married last year. We were supposed to get married in 2020, but COVID, and then we had to push it back a couple years because we wanted more than 5 people to be there. So we pushed it back, and then we got married, consolidated all of our loans, and now we are expecting a kid next month, our first baby next month.
Oh, well,
congratulations.
Thank you. So we got a $25,000 personal loan that we took out, and then we have both of our student loans, and then we have her car loan.
All right. So I'm assuming that you called for us to help you come up with a plan to dig out of this, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. So I was looking through your website, and there's a lot of information on there, a lot of books, and I was just wondering what would be the first step for somebody like me to start in this program.
Love it. Well, the first step is to not go into any more debt. We've got to stop the bleeding and make sure that we've got our 4 walls covered. So that's your food, utilities, housing, transportation. Do you have all those bills covered? You can make ends meet?
Yes.
Okay. The next thing we want to do is get on a tight budget. We've got a free app called Every Dollar that you can download and list out your income minus your expenses. We want that to equal 0, meaning you've assigned every single dollar a job. What is your income? Household?
My income, I'm salary at $100,000, and then my wife is hourly. She brings home maybe about $50,000, so we're about $150,000.
Okay, great. And what's the total amount of consumer debt you guys have?
Probably a little over $100,000.
Okay. So what we're going to do is lay them out smallest to largest, and I don't want you doing any more consolidation loans because that's not fixing any problems here. We're just moving around the debt and feeling like we did something.
Okay.
And so I want you to separate all the debts, put them in a spreadsheet, whatever you need to do, list them out on paper, smallest to largest, and ignore the interest rate. Don't even write the interest rate down. And I want you to make minimum payments on all of those debts except for the smallest one. What is your smallest debt?
Smallest debt would probably be the $5,000 loan.
Is that the car?
No, that is one of the loans that I took out
to invest
to give to the scammers because they wanted $5,000 to open up a channel directly to me.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, and who's that loan through?
It's through my bank. I don't know if I can say it. But.
I'm trying to figure this out. The bank gave you a loan? What did you say the loan was for?
It was for a personal loan.
Oh, okay. And then they go, whatever you do with that money is your business.
Exactly.
All right. So we're going to knock out that $5,000 debt as fast as we can. How quickly could you do that? Do you guys have any money in savings?
Yes, we do. We have a stock account that has pretty good amount of money in there.
Okay, let's go ahead and cash that out. Now, you got to look at the tax implications, talk with your tax advisor, but we're going to just get out of any non-retirement accounts to scratch up as much cash as we can to attack this debt.
How much do you have in stock?
Right now, we got a little over $10,000.
Okay.
All right.
So, yeah, I would cash that out. The tax burden won't be big on that, and you'll knock out that first debt today.
Okay.
And once you feel that progress, we're going to keep going down the list until we knock out all of the debts using that debt snowball method that I just walked you through. And if that means cashing out till you just have $1,000 in savings for a while, I'm okay with that. Because right now, your hair should be on fire at this debt. And so that might mean getting a side job to bring your income up to $150 so that you're not trying to plow through this for the next few years.
Yeah, I work in agriculture, so I got plenty of work. I picked up a second job, so I'm scraping. It's minimum wage, but I'm just doing as much as I can to bring in.
Well, we want to gift you something. You were asking about resources. I'm going to gift you Financial Peace University, and I want you to sit down with your wife, watch all 9 video lessons, and with that, it'll come with Every Dollar, our premium version, to connect with your bank and start your budget, and that's all included in Ramsey Plus. So hang on the line. Austin will make sure we get that taken care of and over to you. But, man, you got to get real serious about this. We got to stop playing around with crypto and stocks. And, I mean, you touch the hot stove now, and so you know that was a bad move. So I feel good about that part, Ken, that the behavior change he's ready for it.
Yeah, and Matthew, welcome, because you're joining throngs of people that have made bad financial decisions. And I think the word I want to share with you as we let you go is I don't want you to have any shame. The bad news is you made some bad financial decisions. The good news is there is a plan, there's a way. We're giving it to you, Financial Peace, and you're going to climb out of this, and you're going to be better for it. So get your head up. You'll get out of this, but you're going to have to really, really hustle for a season. But on the other side of this is going to be true freedom, and we are here to walk with you along the way. Thank you for listening, watching, and for calling in. Don't move. More Ramsey Show coming up right around the corner.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Welcome back, America. This is the Ramsey Show, where we talk about your life. We talk about your money. We talk about your work. We talk about your relationships. They're all tied together. You know, if you got a dumpster fire going on in your money, it's going to affect your relationships. It's going to affect how you perform at work. If you're in a dumpster fire of an office with toxic coworkers and a pinhead leader who has no idea how to treat people, that's going to affect you at home. And this is why we do what we do, is for breakthrough, so that you can be who you were uniquely created to be and live that life and live it with abundance and total financial peace. So excited that you're with us. George Campbell with me. We think we're kind of fun. Like, we think, you know what,
Wow.
We're going to get you your advice, but we also think we're going to have fun doing it. So we're going to have a fun show today.
If you're listening,
doesn't
you're
have to
doing
be
it
awful.
On some level, people listen for entertainment as well as some education.
Yeah. So we're going to treat you well. We're going to respect you, and we're going to help you out, and we're very, very excited that you're here. In fact, George, the people have spoken. I'm also self-proclaimed man of the people over on the Ken Coleman Show. I like to say that all the time.
Yes.
But in this case, you've had a lot of viewers and listeners send you a particular TikTok video that they're up in arms about.
Yeah, so I get these videos all the time since we've been reacting to different videos on social media, on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll get DMs or tagged at least 10 times a day.
Wow.
On random videos where they go, you got to debunk this. You got to react to it.
I like this.
And so there's this one particular video that has just been nagging me. I get it at least once a week for the last 3 months. So I thought we'd play it for our viewers and listeners. And what you're going to see in this video is a woman talking about 401ks and how terrible they are.
Is this a financial expert of some sort?
We have no idea.
Oh, we don't even know.
No one knows. It's the internet, Ken. I mean,
it's just an interview.
And so below that is a guy reacting to her video, and he's pointing in agreement, and I know who this guy is. And so we'll talk about it after.
All right, let's get it, guys. Let's watch this.
401k was never meant as a big retirement plan. A 401k was developed because after the Depression, people were not getting back into the stock market. So they created a 401k to make it easy for the average person to get into the stock market. So you really got to do some research. I mean, everybody, all of us need to really do our research when we're looking at just blindly accepting advice from somebody. So I don't think today you can save yourself to retirement. I mean, the interest rate's 2%, right? It was almost negative because it was 0 something, and the fees you're paying brings you negative. So if you're saving money, are you trying to build as big a nest egg as possible to live off of? And who knows what's going to happen with inflation, deflation? There's so many factors. So I don't think saving and a 401k is a good financial retirement plan at all.
Okay, now, can I just...
The music,
the lady...
Epic. So dramatic.
Yes, right. And he was very excited with the finger pointing and the touching of the ear.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to the lady, the so-called expert, who says, you got to do your research. And did I hear her? I want to make sure I heard this because I was doing my own research on the Google while she was talking about research.
Doesn't take much Googling to figure out.
Didn't she say that it was 2% on the 401k?
She said a lot of things that have no merit.
So for the lady who said you need to do your research, while she was blathering on, I pulled it up. And the average rate of return on 401ks just over 5 years from 2015 to 2020 was 9.5%.
There we go.
So I found that on the Google.
Well, my favorite part, Ken,
immediately.
She's talking about how after the Great Depression, 401ks, 401ks didn't come about until 1978 and got popular in the early 1980s.
Yeah, again,
I don't know what Great Depression she's talking about.
Research lady needs to take her own financial history class.
Goodness gracious.
See, this is why, and again, I'm not trying to bang on this expert, but this is why we got to be careful what we consume.
Sure.
Somebody put her out there and she's saying nonsense.
Well, can I tell you? I know the underlying reason.
This guy clips it, and then he goes, "What was this move?" That's the new move, by the way, James. When somebody says something I like, next time I'm on with Dave, co-hosting with Dave, he's going to say something great. He has no context of this clip, and I'm going to go,
there we go.
Just point up in the air like, Dave's right. Listen, or maybe I should point this way. Anyway, I digress.
I know too much, Ken, and
what
here's
do you
what I know
about this guy?
The reason this video is taken off and it's been reacted to so many times with people in agreement.
Yeah.
Guess what industry all of those people are in? Whole life insurance.
Oh.
So
the
hear
old
me out.
Bait and switch.
Here's the connecting point. All of these people either sell permanent life insurance, indexed, universal life insurance, you name it. All insurances that we know are garbage.
Okay, stop right there. We have a lot of new people, like record numbers of new people watching and listening all the time. Why do we think that those products are garbage, George?
Because they are astronomically more expensive than term life, and it's trying to do two things at once. It's trying to be insurance and an investment, which is how these policies are touted. They're touted by all of these guys as this is a way better investment than your 401k. Your 401k is trash. You should invest with me in this whole life policy in order to make money. And so that guy in the bottom of the video is an index universal life insurance salesman.
Of course he is.
And on his website, on his academy he sells, it says index universal life insurance is without debate the best choice for secure compounding. So that's the promise they're making, and which is why they're all railing against the 401k. And here's what we found in our millionaire study, Ken. 10,000 of them, 79% of them reach millionaire status through their employer-sponsored retirement plans.
Right.
So this lady's saying 401k is terrible. What about inflation? And she's just trying to fearmonger people away from doing a wise investment into, hey, put your money with me in index universal life insurance, and you'll be way better off.
It is such a nonsensical statement to say that 401ks were not meant to help people with retirement. It's literally like saying, I don't even know. I can't even think of something so stupid, because it's the whole purpose. It is an investment fund, and it allows you to invest. And as you said, the real numbers from the largest millionaire study that's ever been done, Ramsey Solutions, says that it works, and it works over and over again. And again, let me give this further, some real skin on this thing. The third largest group of millionaires, net worth millionaires from this study were teachers. Mm-hmm. Now you look at, that's all you have to say, but you look at the median income of teachers in the United States right now, you're looking at about $65,000, $68,000, I believe it is. It might be 60. It's one of those three for all your fact checkers out there. So I've got your multiple
Someone will
choice.
do it.
But the point is in that range of income, you are making enough money to invest in a retirement account like a 401k and absolutely retire with tremendous dignity and live a very full life.
And we've seen it over and over, time and time again. Baby steps millionaires are being created because they follow our plan. Baby step forward. Invest 15% of your household income into retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs. Roth is even better. So I think what's happening here, Ken, is a lot of the younger generations, they're poo-pooing all of these old, boring, antiquated investment vehicles like 401ks and IRAs, and they're trying to take shortcuts and get tricky and go, hey, if I do this and get this index universal life policy and some crypto, man, I'll be way better off.
Yeah.
But as we're seeing, where are all the index universal life millionaires?
Right.
I haven't met them.
Yeah, go poo-poo that, you said. You said poo-pooing, by the way.
I knew you'd like that, Ken.
Well, I like the emphasis on that. It gave it a little extra panache.
Thank you.
Poo-pooing, it's
so, all that being said, take everything on social media with a grain of salt. And I'm starting to, wade in the waters of TikTok. And let me tell you, it is a toxic place.
Yeah, it is.
We are swimming upstream over on TikTok.
This is a perfect example. People watch this, they go, this lady looks...
They'll get a million videos on a video like that.
Yeah, it was a very erstwhile host was asking the question.
So here's the question,
She seemed very
Ken.
serious. You know what
Always
I think
ask yourself, what is it?
I think this kind of stuff is it's like a purple snow cone.
What
It's
do you mean by that?
all sugary. Like, here's your little snow cone, your great purple snow cone, and you bite into it and it gives you all the feels. There's no nutrition no value at all.
No.
I mean, have you ever bit into a purple snow cone, George?
I've done it before.
When you bite into it, there's nothing there. It's not like meat or something to resist. It's just like biting into ice.
I've never
And that's
heard-
what taking on TikTok advice can be. You think you bit into something that's good for you. Oh, no.
Always
There's a
ask yourself.
crash after the purple snow cone,
Ask
by
yourself,
the way.
what does this person have to gain by posting this video? And if you dig into that question, you'll
There it
usually
is.
find your answer.
There it is, folks.
Purple snow cone or not. Love
See,
the breakdown.
you come to the Ramsey Show for that kind of depth, folks.
Wow.
Only at the Ramsey Show do you get that kind of breakdown. All right, hey, good news. More calls, more breakthroughs coming up. This is the Ramsey Show. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. George Campbell joins me here in studio as we take your questions. 888-825-5225. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey, and you'll get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Katie in Michigan. She says, I'm engaged and my fiance currently has $15,000 in debt that he's paying off. I am debt-free and currently have $18,000 in savings. Once we're married later this year, I would like to pay his remaining debt, but I would like for us to still live below our means until we pay back my savings. He doesn't agree with this plan.
Uh-oh.
Help!
Oh, boy, George.
Exclamatory help at the end there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Ken, I am inclined to agree with Katie that it's important we refill this emergency fund, but I don't think he sees it as that.
No, and the problem is they're engaged and they're in the final countdown, right?
Oh,
and
boy.
You don't want to kick the can down the road and deal with this after marriage.
We got to find out where
I feel
this
like
financial
this is
value is coming
okay,
from.
time out. This is a emergency press conference, right?
Yes.
We got to sit down and hash through this.
So here's what I'm thinking. Right now, he sees it as her plan and his plan.
Yeah.
I think we need to get on our plan, and that means he needs to understand where she's coming from.
Right.
I don't know that she's explained, hey, this money is my emergency fund of 3 to 6 months, and if something were to happen, I want us to be protected from whatever happens in the economy, a job loss, HVAC needs to be replaced, whatever it is. We need to have the money in savings so that we don't go into debt.
Yeah.
And so I think we need to have a mindset shift, and that's one of the beautiful things about Financial Peace University. When you go through it as a couple, you now have a shared language that you can use to communicate. You understand where each person's coming from. And so I think that would be a great next step for them, because currently they're on different wavelengths when it comes to money.
And I feel like I'd like to have a one-on-one with this young man. He's yet to discover the universal truth, happy wife, happy life. And, he needs to figure this out,
Yeah.
not only because of that, but because it actually is the right decision. But, come on, man. Figure this out. You got a really level-headed fiance who's
she's
trying
got
to
money
help
in the
you
bank,
out.
no debt. She's clearly doing something
And
right.
well, she's paying off this knucklehead's debt, which I appreciate when they get married. I appreciate that.
It becomes our money and our financial mistakes.
Yeah. This, Katie, I got to tell you, this is a full stop. We have got to dig into this. You need to know my heart on this, why I believe this, why I want you to do this, how it's important to the vision that I have for our marriage.
That's the key word. What is the vision for our family when it comes to money?
Yeah.
And I think once they nail that down, everything's going to be great. But right now, this feels like a solvable problem.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely is.
But it is a red flag.
Thank you for the question, Katie. All right, let's get to the phones. Kevin is on the line in Maui. Oh, my goodness, George. You ever been to Maui?
Never.
Really?
Love to go.
You need to go. Maybe we could go see Kevin. Depending on how good the advice is on this call, we'll see. Kevin, you're on the Ramsey Show.
No, both of you would be most welcome. Ken and George, a real pleasure to speak to you.
Oh, that's awesome, Kevin. We are on our way
That's
after
the
the show
Hawaiian
today.
accent I was hoping for, Ken.
Kevin, how can we help today?
Well, let me let you know, I have not had a credit card in over 10 years. I only use cash and debit cards. I am debt-free. I own my own home. I own our cars outright.
Nice.
I am even a coordinator for Financial Peace University.
Awesome.
Kevin, that's awesome, man. Thank you for doing that.
But I am in a quandary about how to consistently rent a car with a debit card. And I'll explain why. In February, I reserved a car with a major rental company in Memphis at the international airport. They took my money, but after 2 hours, they did not rent me the car because I have insufficient credit. So I decided at that moment, I'm only going to use the company that Dave recommends. And in May, I reserved a car in St. Louis, had no problem. But yesterday, my wife and I flew to Oahu with 2 of our friends for a day trip. I had reserved a car with the same rental company at the Honolulu airport several weeks ago. They had already taken my money, but for some reason ran a credit check. And again, because my credit was insufficient, they would not rent me the car. And so, hallelujah, one of our friends had a credit card and was able to pay for the car, because if that hadn't have happened, we would have literally been stranded without a vehicle. So what's the solution? Is there a consistent answer that keeps me from being stranded somewhere in the South Pacific?
Oh, well, now, Kev, you love a good drama, don't you? You like
Stranded.
drama. You like some drama, Kevin, because there's no way you're getting stranded. You could have got an Uber. You could have got a driver. I was in Mexico for the last week, and we didn't have a rental car. We got everywhere we needed to go. So I appreciate the question. George can jump in on this. He's the financial guru, but come on, Kevin. You're not getting stranded there because you can't rent a car.
So the key here, Kevin, is to do the research beforehand and verify with the company you're renting with that what their debit card policy is. So I just Googled renting a car with a debit card, and immediately Budget, Avis, and Alamo immediately came up with a blog about how they allow you to rent a car with a debit card. I've had a great experience with Enterprise recently, where they sometimes just add a hold, 20% hold or something like that, to the card in order to rent. Now, if you're getting a certain type of vehicle, I have heard that it can be more difficult to get, the giant SUV, for example. Are you trying to rent a specific type of vehicle usually?
No. Usually the
Just
least
sedan.
expensive. And in the past, they have put an authorization of like a $500 deposit down, which I'm happy to do. That's not the problem. It's just that all of a sudden, the very same company that rented me a car 2 months ago will not rent me the car here.
Yeah, I wish I could
so
speak to the inconsistencies of each company. But there are other options too. Outside, I haven't had a lot of poor experiences with this personally with different companies. I usually rent through, a site like Costco Travel, and I've had good experiences. Usually a company like Enterprise is great. But there are other options. We've talked on the show before about doing Uber or Lyft if you're going around a city with good transportation. You can also rent a car through Turo, and you can do that with a debit card. Have you heard about Turo? Turo?
No.
I got to tell you,
No.
big fan.
Ken's a big fan.
I've used it several times.
This is where basically Ken
like
Coleman can list his car for you to rent.
Yeah. It's person to person.
And it's just an app you download, and it'll show you cars in your area. And I've heard from many of our listeners that they've had great experiences with Turo. So that might be a great option for you to check out as well.
I love Turo.
Kevin's
Very
not
good.
happy
Hey,
with
Kevin,
this.
you're in Maui, man. Are you at the airport stranded right now? Because I'll make a couple calls. Or did you get where you needed to go?
No. Well, we eventually did because somebody else was able to rent the car.
Oh, that's right.
But
Hallelujah.
I was unable to rent the car.
Right. I get it.
And that was the thing. The very same company with the very same thing at an airport rental rented me one 2 months ago and didn't rent me one this time, and I just couldn't understand why.
Well,
I'm a minister, and I'm a big fan of following the rules and having some level of consistency. Otherwise, everything's chaos.
right.
And so I'm just trying to find the company that will, not put us in a quandary right there at the rental car company.
Yeah.
And suddenly, because you're right. Absolutely. There's Uber and things like that. But the reason you rent a car is so that you can go out and explore. And if you explore at Uber, once again, I'm not going to be a very good steward of my money if I'm spending 3 and 4 times what I would normally spend on that car rental for the day if
Sure.
I go a different route.
Well, we totally feel you and understand this. Big corporations aren't consistent sometimes. And so it's frustrating. We totally feel what you're feeling. But again, George gave you some real big time rental companies. Maybe the one in Maui. They got a district manager out there who's like, the what's the guy's name from The Office? The horrible boss.
Michael Scott.
He's like the Michael Scott of the local rental car company. He's got his own policies. Who knows? So what do? You pivot. And Turo's an option. You go, okay, I want to explore. So I'm going to get a ride to the house, and we're going to call a local company
and do your due
that'll
diligence.
rent you a Jeep to drive around Maui for the day.
A Schnozberry Jeep, maybe. Ken and I took a call about that one time.
We did.
So, yeah, the key here is do your due diligence, call that location, get the name of the person, the manager who said, yep, you can run with a debit card, and you'll be okay. But it does take a little bit more work, but I'm okay with that if it means avoiding the credit card game.
Yeah.
Happy to do that.
Absolutely. All right, good stuff. Good hour, George.
Thank you.
Always
as well.
fun. And to the team back there in the control room, there's so many. I don't have time to list them all. You folks are
Thousands
amazing.
of people.
Thousands back there. To the amazing people in the lobby, thank you for watching. Fun times. Hey, that's going to do it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we talk about your life, specifically your money, your work, and your relationships. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. 888-825-5225. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Camel in the studio this hour. We're here for you. Great group of people in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions watching us, George. Like
from
we
all
are,
over the country.
Like we're zoo animals, and that's always fun. We go out during the breaks and say hi. And as the hour was beginning
But please don't pet us.
No
It
petting.
makes it awkward.
No petting.
We do a nice firm handshake.
That's right. But you can bring food.
That's true. But, it's like someone bringing food on a plane. Be wary of what you're eating.
Oh, yeah. See, now you'll be wary. If somebody in the lobby comes up with a smile and a snack, I'm going to try it.
You'll do it. You'll take food from a stranger.
I'm not a fearful person. I don't think these people are strangers. Look at them.
I have trust
They look
issues.
lovely. Huh?
Well, most of the time they're eating food from our cafe, which is free, all the baked goods.
Right.
So that's one reason enough to visit.
Met a couple from Cincinnati last hour. I naturally asked them, did you bring some Skyline chili? Because if you won't eat it, James, the producer,
But if you
he
were
never
offered
turns down food.
14-hour-old room temp chili, you're telling me you would eat it.
I absolutely would try it. And James knows I'm telling the truth. I absolutely. When I used to host the YouTube show years ago, people would bring food in the lobby and I would eat it.
That's why they call him Iron Stomach Coleman. That's his old nickname in high school. All Ironsides.
Nobody's ever called me that, but that's fantastic. All right. Shannon is waiting patiently in Seattle, Washington. Shannon, you're on the Ramsey Show.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
My question is, I want to be able to, I'm 51, and I want to be able to own my home free and clear by about 65. I want to be able to increase my Roth IRA contribution and SEP contribution, and also to be able to help my kids with some college expenses. To do so, my question is, do I sell my current home, use the profit, move to a less expensive town, less expensive home, try to do some extra mortgage payments, or do I stay here until my kids are done with school, which would be approximately 8 years? Their age is 10 to 14, so they're young still. Mm-hmm. I mean, relatively young.
How much would you stand to make on your house?
I would make, after everything, I'd say about $250. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about your job? Is that local?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm self-employed, actually.
So could you move further out and be okay?
I could. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I'm hesitant or something to consider is this property, the house that I have now. I have a separate ADU that I rent out for about $900 a month.
Okay, so you
which
lose
helps
that.
offset my mortgage.
Yeah.
I'd lose that.
You lose
right.
$10,000 a year.
I think, George, the question I've got, Shannon, for you is, how much does selling the house fast forward? How much does it really add to the goals that you've got? Because there's going to be some downside. Obviously, losing the rental income. There's the move. You're not going to be able to pocket all of that $250,000. You're going to have to put some of that into the next house. So, I just wonder if you're working through this.
I want to put the whole amount in. I have 6 months emergency fund. I don't have any other debt other than the house.
So what's stopping you from just staying in the house, continuing to invest 15%, save for college, and once the kids are gone, hopefully we have the house close to paid off? What's left on the mortgage?
Well, that's what's kind of the tricky part. I owe $546 on the mortgage, so it's a pretty significant amount. And
what's the payment on that?
The payment on it is only $2,500, but the reason is about 12 years ago, I adopted a couple of my children, and a lot of stuff happened, and that's when the market crashed, and I renegotiated my mortgage with the lender to a 40-year loan.
Ouch.
And I owe $366,000 at 4%. And then they created a separate account, $180K at 0%. So the challenge is if I make extra payments of any kind, it goes only to the 0% part. It doesn't go to paying off the part that's accruing interest.
Yeah, I don't like this. This whole plan sounds wonky.
Well, from this standpoint, I kind of like selling and getting out from underneath of it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you might be able to refinance, but I want you on a 15-year. It sounds like you're on a 30-year right now, correct? Or a 40-year?
A 40-year, right?
Yeah. I'm wondering.
I still have 30 years on.
But if you refinance to a 15, you couldn't afford it.
No.
And so that tells me you have too much house and too much mortgage. And for that reason, I would sell.
Yes.
And downsize to something more realistic in your area.
Yeah.
Have you looked into that, what that would look like? Do you still need all the space?
Well, I do. I have 3 children. And in fact, actually, the house that we're in is a little bit too small for us. I converted part of my garage for my son to use as a bedroom.
It sounds like we need to relocate somewhere where cost of living is lower. Is that an option?
It is. I live in a really very sought-after area.
I bet.
Kind of an exclusive, nice.
Doesn't matter, Shannon. I know it's sought after, and I know it's going to stink, pulling up stakes.
The schools are really good.
But there's good schools in other places. There's good schools in other places. This is a reset for you financially that is going to I think you have to weigh it. I think this is a good exercise for you to go, okay, my kids are in really good schools. We live in this really nice area. That's all nice. And so that's going to be a negative if we move. But then let's write down the positives for if we sell and what that does for your financial future and the goals that you have for your kids.
And for you just mentally and emotionally. I mean, this is a huge weight of debt on your shoulders. And you told me you want to be debt-free by 65, which is 14 years from now. And that plan could happen if you were on a 15-year fixed and you paid it off early. That's very realistic. But at this juncture, looking 14 years out and you're spinning your wheels, trying to pay off over $500,000 in debt while trying to increase your investments, while trying to save for the kids' college, it's just too much. And so for that reason, I'm going to downsize. We can find a school in a different area. And maybe not downsize in house, but downsize in mortgage.
Yeah, and again, this is, I understand what I'm about to say doesn't really, it doesn't go down easily for a lot of people that are in this situation, but your kids are adaptable. If you got to stick 2 of them in a room together, they'll be fine. Because that's for a short season if you are resetting financially. So everybody needs their own room and she didn't say that, but it's like, kids are adaptable.
Yeah.
And I think these kids in today's world need to be a little bit more uncomfortable, shall we say.
I like that
Cranky
plan.
old man, but it's got
Such
some
a curmudgeon,
financial.
Ken.
I am a curmudgeon. Great word, by the way.
Thank you.
During the break, we'll see if you can spell it first time without any kind of aids at all.
Spelling
All
bee
right, the curmudgeon and the camel. We'll be back right after this break.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague George Camel, and we are here for you. 888-825-5225. We got our money calls, but today I'm in studio, so if you're struggling at work or you're going, Ken, I want to level up. Is now the time to get a raise? What's the best way to do it? I'm thinking about a different career path. I'm working for a toxic leader who's a complete bonehead and sucking the life out of me, or I work with gossipy, toxic coworkers. How do I avoid all that? These are things I talk about daily on the Ken Coleman Show. We can take those calls as well because, again, your greatest wealth building tool is your
income.
Thank you,
Ding, ding.
George.
Ken, can I tell you, I'm going to toot your horn for a second.
Oh,
we
boy.
just met a sweet family out there from North Carolina.
Yeah.
And the young lady said, Ken,
Yeah.
I got a job using your principles.
Thank you, George. It's true. And so you know what she did? This was a couple of years ago. Is that right? If I remember correctly. And she was in the interview process, and she asked the manager 3 questions. And we won't reveal those, but I teach people that the interview is just as much for you as it is for them. And the way to stand out in the interview, and this young lady did, was ask very intentional questions. And the manager said to her, wow, nobody's ever asked me those questions. And she stood out because of the questions that she asked. So that was really cool. I got a little goosebumps when you told me that. That was really
special.
fun. And the sister is in town for a dance contest, nationals.
Good to know.
Yeah, she's into hip-hop dancing. So I thought you two should do a little...
We should do a collab.
You guys should do something
Absolutely.
on the next commercial break. You only get to see that if you come live, Ramsey Solutions World HQ.
At least once a show, Ken says, it calls me the Dancing Camel, and that you need to tune in for that. Hasn't happened yet.
Has not happened. All right, Michael's up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Michael, how can we help?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, guys.
You bet. What's up?
I got to listening to Dave about a month ago, and me and my wife have been talking to her about it. And we want to try to get out of debt, and I just want to try to know where to start.
Awesome.
And we thought about canceling my 401k for a while to use that extra money to start paying off some debt, and I didn't know if that was smart.
That is about the smartest thing you can do, and it's very hard for most people to do because it feels counterintuitive because, you know, you're getting a match potentially, and you feel like, well, this investment is going to pan out, but it's kind of like it's tapping your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. It can be very difficult to do multiple things at once and wonder why you're not making progress. And what stopping the 401k does, it does 2 things. Number 1, like you said, it actually frees up cash flow for you to attack the debt. But number 2, it lights a fire under you to get rid of the debt faster because you want to get back to that compound growth. And I actually like the second reason better because it changes your behavior. And so pausing, what are you investing right now? How much of your income?
It's about 6%, so roughly about $600 a month, something like that, $500 a month.
Oh, that's a good chunk right there.
Here's the beautiful part. You're going to pause the 6%. It's going to go down to 0 for a short time. But when you come back, you're going to come back swinging at 15%, almost triple what you're investing now.
It's beautiful.
And that's what gets me excited. So, Michael, you're on the right track. I would absolutely pause the 401k. How long is it going to take to pay off the debt? If you do all of these things, you pause the 401k, get a side job, do whatever it takes, sell stuff.
It's probably going to take a while because we got quite a bit on credit card, house, and a truck.
Well, what's your income?
We just sold one. Roughly, I get started a new job about 6 months ago, but probably going to be pushing 80.
Okay, is
like
that household income?
No, my wife just went to work and started a job, but hers is going to be contingent on some contract.
Give me a rough number.
Else, so we're not 100. Hopefully 36,000.
Okay, so we're talking 115,000 in income. How much debt do you have total? Consumer debt?
Probably with the house, credit card, and the
no
truck,
house. Take out the mortgage.
No, about 60,000.
Okay.
70,000.
I heard there was a
there
truck.
We go.
I heard there was a truck in there, George.
Uh-oh.
What's the truck
Ken
worth?
knows how I feel about trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we just sold one. When I started my new job, I got a company truck, so we sold one. Kept a newer one to my wife because of the low mileage. It's probably I think about $50,000 on it.
And what could you sell it for today?
Unfortunately, we got a price on it. One, so we're way upside down on it.
But you're telling me that
just like
most of your debt is just in this truck.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I listen, Michael? Just humor me for a moment. This is all on your behalf.
Yes,
what you said that you bought it for 50, or you got debt on it to the degree of 50,000. Sorry, I can't think for a second. And then where did you get the quote from? Was it a trade-in value from a dealer?
A dealer just buying it.
Yeah, but they're always going to lowball you. I haven't
tried to sell it outright.
Yeah.
That's
so what could you get private sale for it? Probably over 50.
What is the truck? Tell me what the truck is.
Ram 1500.
A Ram 1500. What year?
2021.
Oh my God,
Ken! I've always wanted to ask this. You got a Hemi?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, yes. Michael. George has no idea what he even just said.
I've seen the commercials.
He has no idea.
Okay.
Have you? So here's one homework assignment for you, Michael. Before you go to bed tonight, I want you to look for private sellers. Also, Kelley Blue Book value on your truck as it stands right now in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I want to see what you can get for that because, George, I want you to walk him through, even if let's say he can get 48 for it, or if walk him through why we want to attack this truck situation.
Oh, yeah. Well, number one, the interest. Michael, what's the interest on this thing and what's your payment?
I think my wife said the interest is like 3% or something like that, and we're paying like $800 and something a month.
Oh, my goodness. $800 a month that could be going towards your actual goals instead of going towards a depreciating asset.
Yes, sir.
So I'm thinking we need to get rid of this truck, and we also don't recommend anyone buy new cars unless they're a millionaire, which are you guys net worth millionaires yet?
Not even close, sir.
I want you to get a lot closer, and part of that is going to be selling this truck. Even if you're upside down on it and you need to go to your local credit union and get a personal loan, that's the only time I tell you to do that, because of how dire this is. And so if you can scrape up the cash to cover the difference, that's even better. Do you guys have any money in savings?
Okay. Very little. Very little.
Okay. Well, I want you to change your whole financial picture, and part of that is getting rid of this truck, and then you'll have very little debt left to tackle. Then we're going to get our 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then we can get back to investing.
Yeah. Michael, what kind of work do you do?
I am a surgical instrument tech.
Interesting. Are you a handy guy outside of the surgical tech work? You pretty handy?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to work a job and everything else, but I'm not going to lie. The last 4 years, I've traveled so much, I kind of want to see my family a little bit.
I get it.
I know I need to do it, but, I've missed so much, I kind of want to make up time if I can. But
and I'm all for that. And I'm not actually suggesting what I think you think I'm suggesting. I'm saying for a short term, let's say that you're upside down in this truck. We figure out maybe it's $5,000. Could you do some side hustle, handyman work to come up with that extra $5 so you don't have to go get a loan? And now we scrap together $5,000, $10,000 for a minivan or something that's old. So you're with the family, but we get out of this debt faster. I mean, this truck is a huge part of your debt situation. And then with you slowing down, stopping the payments of the 401k, you could really get on top of this pretty quick, right, George?
Mm-hmm. I feel the progress already. I'm excited for him.
Yeah, so I mean, this is an urgency for a season. I don't think you have to trade being with your family to get rid of this truck. But I look at this in this economy, a guy like him, George, who's got some services to offer, can make some side money pretty quick.
And one of the best things, the only probably good things about car debt is it's a little bit of a reversible problem.
It is.
I can't go sell my student loans.
That's
true.
true.
I can go sell that car and get out
That's
today.
exactly right.
And so I kind of like when we dig in and ask what kind of debt, it's partially for that reason, to figure out what can we get rid of here to clean this up faster.
Yeah. Fun little question, Michael, for you and your wife, I think, over dinner tonight is, what would it feel like if we didn't have the debt we have? What would it feel like if we weren't paying $800 a month?
How much sooner could we retire?
Yeah.
What kind of truck could we buy with cash later on?
Yeah, it's a fun little game, but it is a way to kind of see what the future could look like and what does that feel like. And it'll change your perspective, change your context. Great call. Thank you, Michael, for trusting us, and the best is yet to be, I promise. More Ramsey Show coming up. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Welcome back, America. You are joining the conversation here on The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. George Campbell is joining me this hour. It's a free phone call to jump in. We'll talk about your money. We'll talk about your work issues. Those do tend to coincide, George, from time to time.
They do.
888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. If you've been engaged in the show for any amount of time, you've heard us talk about how important it is to have a will. Everybody needs a will. There's more to estate planning than just a will. Estate planning covers all the documents, plans, and conversations you need to have in case something happens to you. You don't have to be an eccentric millionaire with an offshore account to have an estate plan. You need an estate plan. Start by checking out our estate planning checklist. This easy-to-use tool will help you keep track of everything you need, walking you through documents to get, conversation to have, and where you can go to get more information so you can get this done. Give yourself and your loved ones peace of mind by taking care of this stuff ahead of time. Download your estate planning checklist for free at RamseySolutions.com/estate checklist. That's RamseySolutions.com/estate checklist. Alex joins us in Austin, Texas. Alex, how can we help?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you doing?
We are living the dream. What are you doing?
Same here. Hope you're both well.
Good. What's up?
So I've got about $28,000 in student loans and have $14,000 to throw at it. The loans are broken up into 6 individual loans. The smallest 4 are $14K, and the largest 2 are $14K. I've been listening to the show for quite a while, and I've heard previously that you guys have advised against debt consolidation. And this isn't a debt consolidation question, but in part you advise that because the momentum you can build through the debt snowball. So I was wondering if I should, I know the baby steps would be pay smallest to largest, but I'm wondering if I knock out the 2 largest with my $14K, then I can utilize that momentum to pay off the other $14K.
It feels like a wash to me because you're going to free up the same amount of payments, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's more just, I guess, the non-mathematical part of the debt payoff process that I'm wondering about.
The non-mathematical part. You're saying you're going to feel more progress by paying off the highest loans first?
Well, once I pay those off and I start to work the debt snowball with my income, I would make more progress. At least it would feel like more progress. But I agree with you. Mathematically, it doesn't matter. Well,
I just think paying off the smallest ones, leaving you with just 2 loans at that point?
Yeah, exactly. I would be able to pay off the smallest 4.
Yeah. I mean, I think knocking out 4, leaving you with 2 would feel better emotionally if we're just talking about emotions.
No question.
Instead of looking at 6 debts, now I'm looking at 2. And I have half left. I've already done this before. I know how this is going to work. Now, how much money will you have left over after you throw the $14,000 at it?
$1,000. I have $15,000 in savings.
Cool. What's your income?
About 66.
Nice. So how quickly can we pay off the rest of the debt?
I used your calculator online. It said about 2 years, but I feel like it would be. I get bonuses and stuff, so I imagine by the middle of next year.
Yeah,
absolutely. Making 66, paying off 14, you can do that in probably 6 months.
And if you had to, you were in an emergency situation and you had to make an additional $2,000 to $3,000 a month, you got a couple of ideas how you would do that?
Definitely been thinking about getting a second job. Haven't really given it too much thought into what I could
Start thinking about it.
Definitely on.
Think about it. And listen, not just a side job. I want you to start thinking, okay, if I had to, now this is a little bit of a mental game here, but if I had to make an additional $2,000 to $3,000 a month, how would I do that? I had to work a full-time job, but I had to come up with $2,000 to $3,000 more per month. I had to do it. How would I go about doing it? I think that's the question you start answering, because I think you're going to be surprised at how possible that is for you to do. And all of a sudden you've cut that 2 year maybe into 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year. I mean, you really could do it.
Yeah. Alex, are you getting a tax refund every year?
No. So I did 2 years ago, and then I adjusted that this past year. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking for any other area we can
401k?
Find money. Are you investing at all?
No, so I paused that as well. The holdup in my budget is that I have a daughter. I mean, I know a lot of people pay for daycare, but daycare is almost more than rent.
Oh, yeah.
So
isn't that something?
So I'm going to be able to do it quickly. It's just some additional expenses.
Yeah. Well, you got it, man. You really do.
Just follow the plan. I don't think you're special in this case. I would just pay it off smallest to largest, be done with it, and move forward.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Alex.
Appreciate it.
You got this. Dana is up next in New York City. Dana, how can we help?
Hi, how are you guys?
We are having a blast. What's going on?
All right, so I have a dilemma that just happened this morning. The manager that I work with is quitting today, so they already told him that they're most likely thinking about giving me the position, which would be a $20,000 raise from what I'm getting now. It'll be $50,000, and I'm getting around like $34,000.
Okay.
And my dilemma is that in September, I'm scheduled to move to Canada, Toronto, for school. I'm 23 years old. I went to school pretty late. I took a while because I did not know what I wanted to do, and I did not want to spend money if I did not know 100% what I wanted to do.
Good for you.
So, yeah.
Why are we going to Toronto? To study what? I'm presuming you now know what it is you want to do.
Yeah, it's digital experience design, and the only reason I have to go to Toronto is because they are the first ones in the world to make that career a major. It's a very new career, product designer. So they're the first ones to make it a major that I can even go to school for. So
tell me a little bit more.
I ended up going there.
Tell me a little bit more about what they're going to train you to do. When you say product designer, what is that? What's that end result for you? You want to be doing what every day?
So we basically design interfaces for companies. So like Google has a product designer for their Google site, their Fitbit, like the product, for example, like if you're a product designer for a Fitbit, you're the one going out and researching the people who will be using the Fitbit, how they interact with apps and what button should go where. Like you're basically doing like the psychology of the design and then designing it.
Oh, I'm very familiar. This is a little bit of a leading question there because I don't think that you need a degree to do that work. And because
some people do certificates.
Right. So here's my question. Why? I mean, you know this to be true, and it's so true that this school in Toronto is the only place to even do a major for it. That's not necessarily a good thing. That feels like, oh, we're just going to throw this out there because there's a lot of these jobs already, and we'll see if we can get some people in to pay for it. But the fact of the matter is you can work your way into that position, and certainly online training and certificates can get you there. So what would that cost you to move to Toronto to do this? Because you're not working, presumably.
So it's $15,000 a year.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Dana, I'd take the promotion, and I would then find a much more affordable online option. I'm going to give you a copy of my #1 best-selling book called The Proximity Principle, which says this: in order to do what Dana wants to do, she's got to be around people that are doing it and in places where it is happening. You need to start hanging around a lot of product designers and product managers and people like that in your spare time and online and through social, and you get the certification that you need. I'd take the promotion if it were me, and I'd find the path to get where I want to go, and it does not involve sitting in a classroom in Toronto being taught to do something that it's already happening out there in the real world. You do not need a degree.
We've got lots of product designers here, and none of them have a digital experience degree from this university in Toronto.
Illustrious Toronto University. Hang on the line. The proximity principle is all you need. We'll give it to you. All right, don't move. More of The Ramsey Show coming up. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Campbell. We're taking your questions about your money, your work. Those two categories are clearly connected, and we'd love to help you if you are feeling stuck or you're feeling like, hey, which direction do I need to go? We'll take those calls today as well. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Lydia, who joins us on the line in Cincinnati, Ohio. Lydia, how can we help?
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call today.
You bet.
For doing what you guys do. So my husband and I have started to seriously work the baby steps here just as of a couple months ago. And we've come across two major questions or concerns while trying to pay down a significant amount of student debt. So those questions are, for our current situation, is $1,000 enough for the initial emergency fund? And then also, can our retirement fund withstand no contributions for the time we're doing this? And kind of what ramifications will we have by not doing so? It makes me nervous. There's a lot of pressure from my family to not cut it back. And it's just made me and my husband kind of nervous to stop contributing to that.
How much debt do you guys have?
So it's down to $241,000 of student debt only.
Okay. It's all student debt. What do you guys do?
So I'm a medical science liaison, and my husband is a chemist.
Cool. And what's your household income?
So with bonuses, somewhere between $240 and $270 a year.
Awesome. Okay, so back to your initial question, is $1,000 enough for you guys? Yeah. The answer is yes and no, because the truth is $1,000 was never meant to be a full emergency fund. But yes, it's enough for baby step one, and many, many people have done it. I know it's scary, but that's kind of part of the point, isn't it? Because you know what's scarier to me?
It's terrifying.
That pile of $241,000 of debt that you owe. That's a whole lot scarier than having a $1,000 starter emergency fund.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How much do you have in savings now?
So I haven't refinanced my student loans, so they're still sitting interest-free by the grace of God at the moment. We have about $28,000 that we're going to dump into this before interest restarts.
Okay, and then that leaves you with $1,000 to your name?
That leaves us with about $3,000. So I can cut it back more, I guess. It just makes us, it has made us so nervous. We have 2 small kids, and we feel like we keep falling into the caveats as we've listened to the podcast of, you might want a little more than that.
What's the caveats for you?
Well, like having the young kids, we've had some health issues with the kiddos where it seems like we've kind of had medical bills back to back, which we pay cash for as we go.
That's the
been
key.
A little nerve-wracking.
But that's the key.
But you could cash flow things as they come up, right? If something happened, you could pause the debt snowball, and with your income, you'd have an extra $5,000, $10,000 sitting there to cover those emergencies.
Yeah. So really, the $1,000 emergency fund, it's really more of like the nuisance fund. It's like something stupid happens to the card. It's an $800 expense. And we don't want to jack with the budget. Boom, we're going to go there.
And then you refill it the next paycheck.
And then you refill it. It's not as George said, a true 3 to 6 month emergency fund. It's a nuisance fund. It's an emergency, but it's more nuisance level. Anything more serious than nuisance, you guys are going to do what George said you've already done and what you have done, and you're going to cash flow it. I mean, there's a reason why you've been able to save $28,000 because you guys have figured out margin in your monthly budget. True?
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to change the narrative on this. You have the income and the ability to deal with a true emergency situation for the kids. Listen, I live this stuff out. And 4 years ago, my youngest went through some incredibly difficult stuff with her ear. Had to have multiple nights of stay in the hospital and then reconstructive ear surgery. Well, let me just tell you something. Like, that we paid for that, but we paid it, right? But we paid it, we cash flowed it.
Yeah.
We called the hospital and said, here's the deal. We aren't going to go into a finance. We're going to pay this, and here's what we're going to pay monthly, and we cash flowed our way through that. We didn't necessarily, have to say, we have no money left. And so kids' medical expenses, you're not stuck with, you got to pay all of that up front. And if you cash flow it, it's just like any other expense.
Well, and the truth is $3,000 isn't enough either. I mean, that's not going to cover a new HVAC. Mm-hmm. And so at either way, you're going to have to cash flow any big emergencies that come your way. So I would bring it back down to $1,000. To your second question regarding investing, the ramifications. Mm-hmm. How long would we have to pause investing in order to do this? We're talking your income's only going to go up, right? You said you're making at least $250, $270 a year?
Yeah, $240 to $270 pre-tax.
So the question is, how little can we live on so that we can create so much margin and throw, 100, 120, maybe more at this debt, and it's gone in 2 years?
So I'm glad you're saying that, because that was kind of one of my questions also, is we're looking at like 2.5-ish years based on what our current expenses left over are.
How old are you two?
So to hear that you think... I am 29 and my husband's 31. Okay,
you're 29, 31, which means let's just say 2 years. You guys go hard at this thing. You're now 31. He's 33. You both have a good 25, 30 years plus in your careers left to now invest way more than you were, because let me remind you, you just freed up $241,000 worth of payments that you now have back into your bank account, which means now we're not just able to invest some, we're maxing things out. We're doing backdoor Roth IRAs. Yeah. We're getting real wild over here building wealth. And so that's what I want for you guys.
Which is what we have been doing, actually.
Good. Well, I would pause all of that because that will give you the progress and momentum you need because, hey, those student loan payments are coming back in full swing. This summer.
Yeah,
it's like the worst movie trailer ever. This summer.
That's right.
Student loans are back.
Isn't that
really
true?
is.
It's like that monster truck thing.
Lydia, don't worry about your family. Of course, they want to pressure you. They love you guys. They want to see you build wealth. But right now, they don't know what it feels like to have $241,000 of debt looming in their life. So you guys control your finances. Follow this plan. I'm telling you it works. People have paid off this debt and more that have come our way and done this plan.
You know, George, this is a really good call. Lydia, we really appreciate you calling.
Great questions.
Because there's real psychology involved in this. You know, she think, well, 3,000 is better than 1,000, and I think it's important that we help people understand. You're going to have to cash flow the big things. You're just going to have to deal with it. The reason we say $1,000 in baby step 1 is because we want to free up as much cash as possible to get that snowball truly rolling downhill. But it does freak people out, and I get that.
But I have taken, I can count on 0 fingers how many times someone has called in and said, listen, we had a giant emergency, $1,000 didn't cut it, and now our life is over. You figure it out. You get creative.
That's right.
You go, what can we sell? What side jobs could we do? What can we get on a payment plan with the hospital?
That's right.
What are the types of things we can do so that we don't have to either go into debt or save up $20,000 before we even start the debt snowball, which again, psychologically, you'll never get there.
Yeah. It's true, and yet, you know, the things that we worry about the most rarely happen.
That's true.
You know, and so there's a difference between vigilance and worrying. You know, be vigilant. You know, what do we need to pay attention to here? But then, you know what? We've got a plan. We have common sense. You know, we'll figure out a way if a lightning strike happens. If something serious happens, well, we got bigger issues anyway.
Exactly.
And the money part is just something we'll have to deal with
and
after
I found
the fact.
A lot of those, well, what if? It comes down to a lot of justification on our part, going, I don't want to change. I like to sit here in this dirty diaper I've created for myself because it's comfortable and it's mine, instead of going, you know what, I'm going to light a fire under my belly, and I'm going to go after it. I'm going to change my family tree. Yeah.
You know, I was worried you were going to mix metaphors there and say light a fire under the dirty diaper. Ooh. That wouldn't be good for anybody.
That's not a good
you know
time.
What? But people do that. You know?
Do they?
Huh?
Who are these people?
They make bad financial decisions.
Oh.
You go, okay.
I thought you were saying people light fires under dirty diapers. That's a brand new sentence for me, Ken.
Well, you had two wonderful metaphors there that I felt the audience was going there with me. They were like, oh, what would happen if you lit a fire under? See where we're going there?
Listen, it's Friday.
And that's where you compound bad
vacation.
decisions.
We're just warm bodies at this point.
Yeah. Here's the point of that one. Don't compound bad financial decisions. You know, you're going to have to be disciplined and sacrifice and dig your way out.
I'm glad there was a point. Thank you.
There he is.
He found one.
There it is. Get out the wet wipes. All right. Good show. Good hour, George. Thanks to everybody in the booth. Thanks to you, America, for listening. This is The Ramsey Show.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we talk about your life, your money, your work, and your relationships. 888-825-5225 is the phone number if you want to jump in. 888-825-5225. I'm Ken Coleman. George Camel joins me this hour, and we are here for you. We're having a good time, but we're going to give you some practical advice so that you can get where you want to be, to cover that gap from where you are to where you want to be, whether that be in your money, your professional life, or in your personal life. So we're so excited that you've joined us. Let's get to it. We go north of the border, Winnipeg, Canada. George, can you name the name of the NHL franchise in Winnipeg?
Oh boy, I'm guessing it has something to do with Maple Leafs.
No, good call. That would be Toronto, the Winnipeg Jets. There we go. Jay is there. Jay, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet, Jay. What's up?
So I declared bankruptcy about 3 years ago after a combination of a bunch of stupid decisions in my late teens and early 20s. My question is, now that I'm a couple years back from discharge and I've been focusing on saving and doing all the right things and not taking on any debt after that, I'm curious as to the best way to improve my credit rating with TransUnion and Equifax, given the bankruptcy, without taking on a bunch of dumb debt products. I know the conventional wisdom is go get a crappy 20% loan and just make sure you make all your payments. But that doesn't feel like something that you guys would suggest me do. So I was curious about your opinions on that.
Well, we don't get too worried about the credit score, and I understand with bankruptcy, it's a different situation when that thing's dangling on your credit report for, 6-7 years in Canada?
Yeah, about 7. I'm not concerned about financing or anything like that. My fiance and I are in the process now of looking for a new apartment.
Okay.
And I know that we want to be looking at purchasing a house in, say, 2 to 3 years' time. Now, I know with our savings rate, we'll have about $100,000 in cash savings in about that time. So we'll be able to comfortably afford a 20%, maybe 30% down. But real estate is expensive here, so there will be an element of a mortgage if we purchase a home at that time. So I want to make sure that, I'm prepared to be able to enter into those things when the time comes. And likely that, could be before 7 years from discharge.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that you would need or be worried about the credit report and score is when you're getting a mortgage, because the rest you said you're paying cash for, right? We don't really need it. To rent an apartment, you can do that without a score. You may need to talk through if it's a low score and the apartment does a check on you and they go, hey, what's going on here? But you can find a place that will rent to you regardless of your bankruptcy.
Okay.
And now on the mortgage side, I would proactively reach out to a lender in your area and say, hey, listen, I'm about 3 years out. I want to do a 15-year fixed. It's going to be less than a quarter of my take-home pay. We're going to have a nice down payment, 20% or more. What does that look like for me, knowing that I have this bankruptcy still on my file for another year or so?
Okay.
And they'll walk you through what that looks like.
Yeah, Jay, thank you for the question. George, when you get in a situation like that, what's the mindset someone needs to start with? Because there's always, a lot of fear,
There's a lot of shame and baggage when it comes to bankruptcy, which is understandable. He said, man, I made some terrible financial decisions. And so I don't want that to hold you back. The man himself, Dave Ramsey, filed many, many years ago for bankruptcy. He's doing okay today. Yeah. And so I don't want this to be kind of a scarlet letter you walk around with. Let's just look to the future and go, all right, we made some mistakes. We learned from it. We're going to pay cash for things. We're going to do things the right way going forward. And I think any lender, especially when you're 7 years out, if they say, hey, sorry, man, you can't do this until it falls off your report, then we wait 1 more year. Yeah. We have some patience. We save up more money, have an even bigger down payment, and you just buy yourself some patience there. So I don't think it's the end of the world. You're already 3 years into this thing. You're living your life, you're paying cash, but I would not worry about the score. But I would do my due diligence, do some research, call lenders and say, what does this look like for me, so that you're not blindsided when the time comes.
Good stuff. All right, let's go to Robert, who is in Indianapolis, Indiana. Robert, how can we help?
Yeah, hi. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, we're having a blast. What's going on?
It sounds like it. Hey, what I've got going on, I'm retired. Also on Social Security disability. I was a police officer, got injured at work, had to medically retire through work, and then also, so I get both those pensions. My wife's getting ready to turn 62 here pretty soon. I'm 62. I've been retired for 9 years, somewhere in there. And, she won't get much. We're looking at about $900 from Social Security. She was a homemaker for most of her life. And I was wondering, do I grab that and invest that? We don't need her money. And she will always get mine if I pass away. And, and that's my main thing. I can wait till she's 70 and draw her money. But, I don't know. I'm playing the percentages. I don't live that long just from being a police officer. And usually our life expectancy isn't that long after work. So that's kind of my question. If I need more, I can give you more. So
how old are you two?
62.
We're both 62.
Okay.
Both 62.
Yeah, I think it's great to start drawing it down now and invest that money since you don't need it.
Yeah.
You guys are living comfortably on the rest of your income?
Yes, I get close to $7,000 a month with Social Security and my disability.
Oh, that's great.
And
Okay.
yes, and we're fine. We
Take
need
the
nothing
900.
else.
Do you have a financial advisor?
No, I don't. I was going to look into doing that.
Yeah, I would jump on RamseySolutions.com and click on Trusted Pros. Reach out to a SmartVestor Pro in the Indianapolis area because they can walk you through even doing the math on Social Security. And what if we waited? And what if we invest it now? And where should we invest that money?
I've done a lot of that study of myself. And, of course, I'm not that, but I've done that. And I'm leaning towards taking it and investing it is what I'm leaning towards.
Well, and the beauty of investing it is that then gets passed down generationally with your family.
Yes.
Versus it going with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great opportunity. But do consider meeting with a couple of our SmartVestor pros, RamseySolutions.com, just so they can help you devise a plan, show you how it all works, and then you get super confident, pick somebody you got the best connection with, and you understand everything they're telling you. This is a wonderful opportunity to invest, and you never know. Don't sell yourself short, my man. All right, don't try to check out too early, and we appreciate your service very, very much. All right, George, we're close to a break here, and the thing I wanted to ask you again, we're talking about mindset on that previous call, dealing with bankruptcy and all that, and then again, I feel like it's another money mindset question, which is, okay, do we take the money now, the Social Security money now, and invest? I think a lot of this comes from confidence, and both of these callers, when we are very clear on what our opportunities are, how we can reframe or dig out of a situation in bankruptcy, or in this case, how that money could be invested, it feels like confidence is such a key play with this.
I think that's a big reason people call in. They're at a crossroads. They're not sure what to do. They need a third party to go, okay, I heard everything you said, heard all the details. Here's what you need to do. And you do that with confidence, and it empowers people.
Yeah.
You're not sitting on the sidelines anymore. You're in the game.
Yeah. So the takeaway, folks, is get clear on these money issues. And when you're clear, then you can be confident. And confidence gives you the courage to make the moves you need to do to stay with it as long as it takes to have true financial peace. All right, don't move. More of your calls coming right up. The Ramsey Show continues. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by George Campbell, and we are here answering your questions about your money, your work, your relationships. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. That's 888-825-5225. Daniel joins us in Temecula, California. Daniel, how can we help?
Oh, hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Yeah, you bet. Can you adjust your phone a little bit? Feels like you got a sock covering up or something.
Sure. Can you hear me better now?
A little bit better, yeah.
Oh, okay. I have a question regarding my properties. I have two properties, one in California and one in the state of Arizona. Mm-hmm. And I have actually equity on both of them. And my question is, should I sell the one in Arizona to pay my main property in California?
How much do you owe on the property in Arizona that's a rental?
That one I owe $105,000.
What's it worth?
It's worth $288,000.
Okay, and what do you owe on your primary residence in California?
On that one, I owe $165K.
And okay, $165K. All right.
What's it worth?
It's worth $680,000.
Nice.
All right. What kind of income, if any, are you making on the house in Arizona?
On that one, I'm just making about $300 a month.
Ah, yeah, not much margin there.
No, for $3,600 a year, I'm selling that Arizona property, and with the net proceeds, you're going to be able to pay off the California property, right?
Yes, that would be correct.
I love that plan.
I think it's a no-brainer, Daniel, because you're not making enough money for the headaches. In fact, many months with any kind of expenses, you're losing money. So this is a great way to get out of this.
And being a long-distance landlord, that's not fun.
Long-distance landlord, and you walk out of this thing with a paid-for primary residence in California. It's a no-brainer. Which way were you leaning when you called us?
Okay, well, I was leaning to that. My only question was because the taxes in California are so expensive. So I was also thinking about paying my property in Arizona sooner than, because I refinanced that to a 15 years, from a 30 to a 15 years.
But how does it affect property taxes if you pay off your house?
Well, I'm still going to have to pay taxes, right?
Sure. But as long as you live in California, you're going to pay the taxes anyways.
Yes.
Are you talking about moving from California to Arizona?
Yeah, I was planning to do that in the future.
Well, how soon? I mean, like, what were you thinking? 5 years, 10 years? What are we talking about?
Actually, 3 years.
Why 3 years? What's holding you in California for 3 years?
A new job that I have in Cali.
Okay.
Well, if you want to live in that rental and you want to hang on to it, that's fine. But I would rather just pay it off, and then you're going to have all this money in your California house, and when it comes time, you're going to be able to pay cash for a spot in Arizona.
Yeah.
A spot you love.
Yeah, because Daniel, think about this. 3 years from now, what do you think your house in California is going to be worth?
I'm not sure, but I think it's probably going to be a little bit more than what. Of course.
So now when it's time to move to Arizona, you're flush with cash, more than enough to buy a really nice house in Arizona.
Okay. Well, that was my question. I was a little bit confused about it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet.
You got it.
Thanks for the call.
It's a good problem to have.
I like that. Very good. Let's go to Josh. Speaking of Arizona, Josh is in Phoenix, Arizona. Josh, how can we help?
Hi, it's nice to meet you guys. So recently, me and a partner opened up a new company, and the one thing we're struggling with is driving sales and marketing structure for the company to bring more business to the company.
What's the business?
So we sell air purification units, which go in an HVAC system. They kill COVID-19, and we have testing for them to prove it. So there's a lot of incentive to buy this unit because a lot of people do have a fear of getting sick. We have all the infrastructure built up. However, we're struggling in having people come look at the units or make a purchase.
Okay. Is this a showroom type situation where they have to leave their home and come see it?
No, not at all. Everything could be read in the email or checked out on the website. So there's no showroom like a cabinetry or a granite company. So
is there? What about good old fashioned door to door?
So I mean, we were thinking of going through a door salesman because that's how a lot of solar people drive their income. But there's a lot of people involved in door to door. You have to build a whole team, which will result in a headache. We tried doing something called the EDDM to send mailers out, and that's still yet to no avail. It's been around 2 weeks, and we still haven't got a single call.
So how many of these units have you sold?
So we haven't sold a lot of them because it's just a new company, which we just built up, and now we're focusing on where and why and how should we market this device.
Well, if you haven't sold any, it's hard to know why people are even buying it. Have you done research on competitors and how they're doing and what their messaging is?
Yes. So our competitors, mainly, they go towards also door-to-door, but their units are more expensive than ours. But ours accomplished the same thing and has an FDA registration.
But it sounds like door-to-door is the winning strategy for them.
Yeah, it does, but there's also a lot of headache involved in.
Why don't you start small with door-to-door?
Is it just you and another guy?
Yes, it's just me and another guy.
Well, who's? It's your headache. It's not a bunch of other people. Why aren't you guys out, knocking on doors? Hey, I'll take this street. You take the next street. We'll meet in the middle. I mean, you guys got to get this thing up and going. There is no marketing strategy that is just going to make the phone ring
I'm
all
curious,
over the place.
Why did you start this business?
We started this business because, COVID was a big problem, and our company believes in trying to reduce that and, give people peace of mind in their own homes.
But as COVID kind of goes away, we need a better marketing strategy and messaging than fear of COVID, right?
Yeah.
So, quick question I'm going where George is going. Phoenix, is it a high allergy place because of the valley, I'm wondering, or no?
Yes, it is. And our devices also do allergy removal, which we market in the Phoenix area for that.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm a dad, all right? I got 3 kids. And so I'm going to be thinking, okay, look, this gives you multiple benefits. So this is going to reduce the allergens in your home, and allergens lead to X amount of percentage of colds and sickness. Plus this is going to help ward off COVID, whatever. You guys got to get a narrative, but I will tell you this: you guys need to sell it to 1 or 2 people. Have you sold it to anybody at all yet?
Yes, we have.
All right, and have you stayed in touch with those folks?
Yes, we have.
Are they excited, or are they just like about the product now that they've got it?
Well, our clients are actually really excited about having this in their home because their air changes drastically. A lot of them have been inclined to do their other condos or their other houses across the U.S.
Great. So you have to tell the story, and you have to incentivize them to tell the story. So what's your incentive program to those few clients? If they were to tell the story on Facebook or their Instagram or whatever, or they send it out to 15 friends and they show you the receipt of it and somebody buys, what's the referral program like to where they are incentivized to tell the story for you? Your greatest marketing is going to be the customers that you've won over who say this is really effective. And that it's just like building a real estate business. This is going to be, door to door, a water cooler, people talking about it at work. And that's the marketing that I think will be the most effective for you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
So, I mean, this is getting busy, but you saying, well, George or Ken, I don't want to have to hire people to go door to door. Nobody's telling you to hire anybody. It's you going door to door and talking to people, and you got to hit that pain point for people. And when you hit that pain point, it's like a frenzy, and you've got to lead with that. It reminds me, what was that hippopotamus game we played when we were kids?
Harry Potter.
No, it was
sorry.
A Hungry Hippos.
Hippo.
You put the little marbles in there and you hit it. You got to give people something they want. They got to eat
some
it.
Value. Maybe give them a free air check at their house.
Yeah, free air check. Give them something. They'll respond like those Hungry Hippos. That's what it was.
Not Harry Potter. Sorry, Ken.
All right. Don't move. More of your calls coming up. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. I'm joined by my colleague, George Campbell. We are thrilled that you've joined us today. We're here to answer your questions about your money, your work, your relationships. All those are intricately tied together, and if you're not winning in one, it's going to affect the others. And so, hey, a question for you. We have a lot of new people joining all the time. Some of you have been listening and watching whatever platform you engage with the show on. We appreciate you so much. And, I know it's true of me. I know it's true of you, George, because we recommend a lot of things to each other.
That's true.
And, when something you come across helps you in your life or you enjoy, you want to tell other people about it. And so if The Ramsey Show has helped you or you enjoy it in any way, it's become one of the biggest business and finance shows in the world. It's because millions of people like you tune in and can't help but share. So we want you to share. So whether that be on podcast, YouTube, or your local radio station, please share about the show and how it has impacted you, what you've learned, what you're doing. Those are the stories we want you to share the most, is what you're actually doing, because you are the hero. You are the entire subject of the show. So if you do that, we would be grateful. We want as many people as possible to find this content so that they can live their best life as well.
Sharing is caring, Ken.
Thank you, George.
That's the summary.
Do you have that bumper sticker on your Tesla,
I don't
George?
do bumper stickers these days.
Not on the Tesla, for sure. Yeah. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Joy is there. Joy, how can we help?
Hi, thank you for taking my call. My situation is pretty simple. I'm newly divorced. I'm 70. I had $45,000 in savings last year, but now I have 35. And I earn only $20,000 a year because I'm working part-time and I have no debt. So my question is, how do I make sure that 35 doesn't disappear? Now, I know, that I'm supposed to be a good girl and control my spending and all that. So, but I just wanted to hear your feedback.
Okay, so you don't have a mortgage payment? You have the house paid for?
I rent, and my expenses per month are right around $900.
Okay, great. And is your rent fixed? It's not going to go up?
Well, no. If anything, it'll go down. I'm in government housing right now, and it's working out really nice.
Okay.
So,
and does that include, do you have any Social Security? Is that all of your income is $20,000 a year?
That includes Social Security, yes.
Okay. And you said you're working part-time. How much longer do you think you could work for, or do you want to work for?
Oh, I'm pretty healthy. I could work for another 10, 15 years probably.
Yeah, I like that answer, Joy. That is awesome.
This $35,000, it sounds like a big part of it is your emergency fund.
Well, you could call it that. I'm just happy to have it, and I do think of that. I do have emergency fund and that $1,000 that you say you should have.
Good. Well, it doesn't sound like you have a lot of expenses, and because you're not a homeowner, you don't have to worry about, the HVAC going out. So that's nice.
Right.
But I would still set aside 10 or 15 as your emergency fund, and the rest of that money I might look into investing, because that money sitting in a mutual fund over the next 10 years, that can grow. And so I would get in touch with a financial advisor. We've got SmartVestor Pros in the Wisconsin area that can help you with this. If you just go to RamseySolutions.com, connect with one of those folks, and they can help you decide what the best thing to do with, that $20,000 extra that you want to invest over the next 10 years, so that it doesn't disappear with inflation.
Yeah. One thing I have not done is getting a funeral arrangements ahead of time, and I probably should do that. And a will, I got to do that.
Do a will today.
A couple things I need to do.
Absolutely. Huh? Yeah, get a will done today. We have that resource as well for you at RamseySolutions.com through our friends at Mama Bear Legal Forms, and it's very inexpensive to do a will. And in there, you can put your funeral arrangements and what you would like done, and that would help. And having that money set aside with no debt, you're really going to be able to leave a legacy in that way because you're not going to have debt tied to your estate.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joy, for the call. And could you just say something for a second? I'm 70 years old. She's like, oh, yeah, I feel fantastic. I'm going to work another 10, 15 years.
We get calls from someone who's 52, and they go, well, it's about over, Ken.
That's true.
What do I do?
I'm getting
way
older.
Too late.
And Joy's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to 85, baby. I like
and she's
Joy.
Still working. I think, and you can prove me wrong, Ken, but I think working at an older age has really great benefits.
Without question.
Sitting around watching old reruns of The Price is Right is not going to keep you going very long.
Yeah. You don't even know what The Price is Right is, but I love the reference.
Well,
George.
I know that Drew Carey is not my favorite host of The Price is Right.
Oh!
I'm a Bob Barker guy.
Okay, George with total credibility there, dropping the Bob Barker on everybody. But yeah, there is something to this idea of longevity being tied to a sense of purpose. And hey, I'm getting up and I'm doing this. And there's no question about it. Data shows that as well. So engage your brain, engage your body. As the older you get, the more you can get out and do something, and something that matters to you absolutely does have a tremendous
Joy was
impact.
A joy to speak with.
There it is. There it is. All right, let's go to Julie in Sacramento, California. Julie, how can we help?
Hi. So I just got my divorce judgment, a settlement, $45,000, and I don't know what to do with the $45,000, and just I don't know what to do with it. I have an ideas.
Oh, I'm sorry, Julie. How long ago did this happen?
I got the judgment like a couple months ago. And I also noticed this check that my ex-husband wrote me was dated March 30th. But then he mailed it to me, and I just received it like 2-3 days ago. Like,
was he hanging on to it?
One of your workers. What was that?
Was he hanging on to it? Why do you think there was a gap there?
I have no idea. He's been like that.
Is that in
for a
addition
while.
to the
He's been like
$45,000?
that. Yeah.
So how much
It
is
was
the check?
supposed to be $50,000. The judgment says $50,000, but he decided to tell me, not the judge. He told me that he's going to deduct $5,000 for various reasons. So that's another thing that
he doesn't get to make that call.
Yeah, so the judge needs to be aware of his editing.
I know. I don't know what to do.
Sure you
but
do.
I don't even know if this check is real because I just remembered now that it's dated March 30th. I don't know. I think there's an expiration, right?
Well, if the money's still in the account, it should be good.
Yeah, no, not on writing the check, but so do you have any debt? You called and said, okay, what do I do with the settlement? Have you received the $45,000?
Yeah, he mailed it to me. Yeah, I have it.
So is it in your bank account or is it a check?
It's not in my bank account. I don't know what to do with the check. I don't know. I just kind of froze.
Okay.
Well, first things first, I would deposit it into your bank account, park it in a savings account for now, and we got to figure out what's next for you financially. Are you having to move? What's your life look like now?
I got my first apartment with my own name on it, only because of the child support money was coming in consistently, and it allowed me to rent with my own name. It was the number was high enough that I can rent it under my own name.
Are you working?
So I am not working right now. I've got like 3 little kids. I don't even know how.
Okay, I tell you
I'm
what.
going to do that.
So
I have the kids like most of the time.
Yeah. So Julie, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hold you over because we want to spend a little more time with you. You're in this kind of this intimidating, overwhelming scenario of your life with 3 little ones. When we come back, George is going to walk you through what you're going to need to do financially. But I want you to hold on. But I want you to be prepared to answer questions like, can you work? Think of any child care costs that are associated. Are you there with them all the time so you don't need it? Any debts that you have, if you can have that information ready to go, George is going to walk you through this. But here's the deal. Hang on, because Julie, you can do this, and we're going to help you. This is so important. We just run out of time in this segment. So hold on, and when we come back, Julie, we will give you a clear path forward. Thank you so much. George, it breaks my heart.
Yeah, it's tough.
Single mom, starting over. A lot of unknowns, so you're going to help her get clear. This is going to help a lot of people.
We're going to give her some hope.
Don't go anywhere. More with Julie coming up. Welcome back, America. You're joining the conversation here on The Ramsey Show. Our scripture today is Proverbs 22:4. Humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. Our quote of the day, Mark Twain. Do the right thing. It will gratify some people and astonish the rest. I'm Ken Coleman. He is George Campbell. And we held Julie over from our last segment, for those of you that are joining us right now. And Julie is in a tough situation. Now a single mom, recently divorced, little ones, not currently employed, got a divorce settlement of about $45,000 to $50,000. What do I do with it? So she's overwhelmed, is now renting, but with the kids all the time. So there's a lot going on. She's obviously and understandably feeling overwhelmed, George. Yeah. And so we ran out of time, and so we bring her back. All right, Julie, you're back. You ready to roll?
Yes.
All right. Awesome. All right, George.
Cool. So, Julie, you said you had child support. How much are you making a month in income? And is it all child support?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any alimony as well, or does the settlement take care of that?
There was alimony. Not anymore.
Okay, not anymore.
So what is your monthly check on child support? What is that?
About $2,000.
All right. And do you know your current expenses for the month?
Oh my gosh, no.
But can you pay all your bills with the $2,000?
Yeah. I
Okay.
use a credit card,
Mhm.
and then I use my to help my credit score go up, and then I use the child support money to pay the credit card. But I'm not even sure what the point of me doing that anymore is, because it's not like I'm getting a house or anything. I don't even know why I'm paying my bills to keep my.
Do you have
points up.
a balance on any of the cards?
I always try to keep it zero.
Okay, so the current balance is 0 on all cards.
It was $665 yesterday, but I paid it last night.
Okay. Well, go ahead and cut up the cards, because this is not going to be a good crutch for you as you climb out of this and find a new normal. I want you to use the money you have on hand so that we don't hurt this your financial situation any further. And we do need to. It sounds like we need to get some income in the door sooner rather than later. But it sounds like childcare wise, you're going to be at home with the kids right now. Is there an option for you to go to work and have childcare provided for them?
Childcare is very expensive. It's like $1,000 or more per child.
How old are your
At least
kids?
for daycare I looked at. They're 2, 4, and 7. The 7's in school, but
Do you have any family support around you?
I wish
So
so
you have
badly.
no family living locally.
Unless I want to take their abusive comments. I've done that in the past. I'm considering doing that, going back to them, and just tolerating the, negative comments. But
Well, we're looking for support here. If they can't provide that, we need to look elsewhere.
Yeah, I only even asked
I
that.
don't have much options.
Okay. And the only reason I asked that, Julie, is I'm trying to figure out, childcare options that doesn't cost you $1,000 a kid. You know what I mean? And so, because you've got to bring in some income at some point. You don't want to hold yourself hostage to his ability to pay the child support. You don't want that. So do you have any other debt at all besides the small credit cards that you've got, and we want you cut those up and not using those anymore? Do you have any debt that you inherited from the marriage or that you walked away with?
My student loan debt, I had like $18,000 when I got married. My husband and I paid it off, and the courts made me pay half of it back. So to him, so I haven't paid him anything. So I don't
that's
know.
got to come out of the 45, because I'm wanting George to walk you through what you're going to do with the 45,000.
So if we cut him a check for what is it, $9,000 that you owe to him? What's the exact number?
I think so, something like that. 9,000.
So if we pay him the $9,000 and we don't have any credit card debt, we have no other payments other than rent, right? And just covering our basic bills. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The rest of that money is probably going to be your emergency fund right now, because there's a lot of unknowns happening. So we recommend you have 3 to 6 months of expenses tucked away in a savings account for emergencies once you're debt free. And so that's where you are right now. It doesn't sound like you're going to be able to invest or do any more savings on top of that. Right now we need some stability. And that to me is going to look like you finding a job that can pay enough to then maybe cover the daycare for the two kids.
Yeah, that's correct.
Because even if it's $1,500 a month, if you're making $2,500 a month, it's still a better option than you not working. So are you open to finding work?
I have to do the math, because if I don't see the math in front of me after my rent and utilities and groceries, and then I don't know, I would feel very uneasy saying yes. It's just, I don't know. I have to see the numbers in front of me for it to make sense.
Sure. And Julie,
yeah, I am.
Go ahead.
I would go to work. Yes. If I can see the possibility, I have to see the numbers in front of me. I just haven't done it.
Have you done work in the past? What kind of work have you done? Like, do you know what you would go into?
I've been a stay-at-home mom for such a long time, until my divorce, that I did own Instacart because, it was a court order. So I did Instacart, and then I noticed significant deterioration of my wheels, my tires, in like 2 months.
Wow. Hey, Julie.
But the gas prices are going up, and then I take my kids on Instacart, but regardless of the dirty looks, I don't care.
Yeah, Julie. Hey, Julie. Let me encourage you with something. We live in a world today where remote work is more prevalent than it ever has been before. And you're talking about working from home, and I know you got 3 little ones, but I'm telling you to keep yourself in a position where you are relying on the ability to live and function on his paying you child support is a very precarious situation. And right now it feels safer to you by the way you're talking than actually going out and finding your own employment and taking care of the babies on your own. And then whatever he gives is gravy. I'm telling you that you can work from home. You can find remote working jobs where you don't have to put the kids in daycare. And you could start there to where you ease into this. Because here's the deal. This was a traumatic situation. This is like a reset of your life. But the fact of the matter is, Julie, you are more than capable of taking care of those 3 little ones. You know it and I know it. And you will do whatever it takes to win. And I'm telling you, yes, you're overwhelmed, and I know it's shocking, and I know you don't have a lot of support. But one of the best things you can do right now is to provide for you and those kiddos. You still got to heal. And you may need to go to some therapy, and I probably recommend that. But one of the best things you can do for you and those kiddos right now is go get a job, whether it's remote, working in the home so they're there with you the whole time. You're not driving around in the car all the time. That's a better situation, and that is extremely doable for you. And I would be looking for all those opportunities. And then the fallback position would be where you get a good job, because this idea that you've been a stay-at-home mom and you have nothing to offer the workplace is crazy. Job numbers came out today, George. Still 3.6% unemployment. The economy added 350+ thousand jobs in the last quarter. The Julies of the world can get hired.
Absolutely. And Julie, we're going to send you a few resources. Number one, we're going to put you through Financial Peace University. You can do that from home, watch all 9 video lessons. And with that is going to come every dollar premium so that you can start doing a budget and lay out all of your expenses, lay out all of the income, and make sure that you've got a plan for every dollar. And also, I'm going to hook you up with a financial coach in your area. So hang on the line. Austin will hook you up with a financial coach. That session is going to be on us as well as Ramsey Plus. So thank you so much for the call. Wishing the best for you.
Julie, you got this. You got this. Hey, George, good show. Thanks for hanging out. To James, our lovely producer, who puts up with us. Thank you, sir.
It's like the Backstreet Boys in there, don't you think, Ken?
It is like the Backstreet Boys. Yeah, they want it that way. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.